Welcome. Starting with our top story this hour, India is shipping out millions of doses of COVID vaccines to South Asia countries in the next few weeks. Now, the world's biggest vaccine manufacturer, Serum Institute of India, has drawn several praises and pushed back against the dominating presence of China in the region. Free shipments of the AstraZeneca vaccine doses have begun arriving in the Maldives, Bhutan, Bangladesh and Nepal. 2 million doses of Covishield vaccines had arrived in Dhaka today. Now, External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar has confirmed on Twitter that consignments of made-in-India vaccines have reached Dhaka. Bangladesh was supposed to receive 110,000 doses of the vaccine free from Chinese firm Sinovac Biotech, but Bangladesh refused to contribute towards the development cost of the vaccine, leading to a deadlock. Bangladesh has instead turned to India for urgent supplies and has now received 2 million shots of the AstraZeneca vaccine as a gift from India. The government of India has shown goodwill by providing the vaccine in grant to Nepal. Prime Minister K.P. Sharma Ali took to Twitter to thank India for shipping vaccines to Kathmandu. The gesture comes at a time that India ties with Nepal have been strained by a territorial dispute. Bhutan and the Maldives on Wednesday became the first countries to receive over 100,000 doses each. As for shipments to Sri Lanka, Afghanistan and Mauritius, New Delhi is awaiting their confirmation of the necessary regulatory clearances. Myanmar and the Seychelles are next in line to get free consignments as India uses its strength as one of the world's biggest makers of generic drugs to build friendships. India is considering giving away anything from 12 million to 20 million shots to its neighbours in the first wave of assistance over the next 3 to 4 weeks. Meanwhile, Pakistan is grappling with a dilemma: how to source millions of doses to inoculate the country's most vulnerable. Unlike other countries in the neighbourhood, such as Bangladesh, Pakistan didn't place orders well in advance with foreign vaccine makers. Following Prime Minister Imran Khan's directive to expedite the procurement of COVID-19 vaccines, the Cabinet Committee is trying to speed up the process for acquiring vaccines. But the country is now facing a dilemma on vaccine procurement from India. Listen to the spokesperson of Pakistan's Foreign Ministry.
The government of Pakistan, I am sure you must be aware of, the government of Pakistan has constituted a special cabinet committee as an oversight body for the procurement of COVID-19 vaccine. In this regard, I would refer you to contact the Ministry of National Health Services Regulation and Coordination.
WION's principal diplomatic correspondent, Siddhant Civil, is live with us. Good evening to you, Siddhant. Now, India is shipping out millions of doses of COVID vaccines to South Asian countries in the next few weeks. This, of course, is part of the Neighbourhood First policy. And take us through the countries that will be receiving vaccines and the doses and how India will be delivering all of these vaccines to the neighbourhood.
Well, Alison, India has got a request from a whole host of countries in the region and also from as far as Latin America and also countries from the ASEAN grouping. But, of course, India has said that India's focus first, of course, will be the neighbourhood. And India announced on Tuesday that India will be gifting 6 countries in the neighbourhood a gift of India manufactured or made in India vaccine. And we know the process has started. You have just talked about these countries. And of course, tomorrow it will be Seychelles and Myanmar that will be getting the Indian gift. But by and large, India has been talking about how India's, in a sense, experience has been helping the world and the neighbourhood. India is known as the pharmacy of the world, and amidst the COVID pandemic, India was able to reaffirm that position. In fact, India provides 60% of world's vaccine, and World Health Organization procures almost 70% of its vaccine needs from India. India is, of course, the largest producer of vaccine, especially vaccines like the measles vaccine. But now, of course, the focus is on the COVID vaccine. We know that the Brazilian president had written to Indian Prime Minister Narendra Narendra Modi to get the vaccine. India is looking at that request, and we do expect very soon shipment will go from India to Brazil to help them when it comes to the vaccination process. But somewhere we know that India is also focusing on how this vaccine can be used for the entire humanity. As the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi spoke at the United Nations General Assembly last year, he said that India's vaccine is just not only for India but across the world for the entire humanity. And this coming at a time when we have seen how the World Health Organization chief has also criticized countries without taking aim, especially focusing on the developed countries, that vaccine nationalism is something that can be a cause of worry. But here, if you look at New Delhi, India is rolling out the delivery, the export of vaccine, even as it started its vaccination process, the mega vaccination process that started on Saturday. And within few days, India started giving the vaccines to countries like Bhutan, to Maldives. In fact, when the shipments arrive tomorrow to Seychelles, approximately 50,000 doses are coming, and the population of the country is around 97,000. So that, in a sense, helps the need of a major portion of the population in countries like Seychelles. So largely, India is looked up to when it comes to vaccination, the COVID vaccine, and this is something that India is bound to deliver, given the fact that India has the experience, India has the capability, and India has reaffirmed its position as the pharma capital of the world last year when it delivered vaccines to almost delivered medicines to almost 150 countries, like medicines like the HCQ, paracetamol. And this time, of course, the focus will be on the vaccination process and how India can deliver these vaccines to many countries.
Right now, Siddhant, it's 12 to 20 million doses that will be gifted to South Asian countries in the next coming weeks. India, of course, has started its own vaccine drive as well and has a huge population of about 1.3 billion people. How will they be able to fulfill this huge amount, and what is the time span?
When it comes to the time span for the South Asian countries, India is prioritizing the South Asian countries so that they get the vaccines that they have requested. In fact, Myanmar has contracted for approximately 30 million, and a similar amount has been contracted by the Bangladeshi government with their pharma company as well. In fact, right now, what is in the process is the gift from New Delhi. After that, India is going to go ahead with the commercial contracts which these countries have signed with the Indian companies, and the commercial process starts from next week. In fact, Bangladesh is expected to get the first commercial delivery which it had contracted on 25th or 26th of next week, and that, of course, will be another important milestone in India's neighborhood first policy. In fact, many leaders in the neighborhood have been lauding India for the delivery of the vaccines. We saw yesterday how the Maldivian president lauded India, the Bhutanese prime minister expressed gratitude to India. In fact, today the Indian envoy had met the Nepali Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli, and there was this picture as well. And on the 1st of January, when Myanmar's Aung San Suu Kyi was delivering her address to the nation, she specifically mentioned about the contract with India for the vaccination, because the entire world this year is looking for vaccination. And when we look at the comments coming from leaders in the neighborhood, it shows that how India has emerged as the center of pharmacy in the world.
Siddhant, thank you very much for bringing us all the latest there on India's vaccine drive and distribution.
Co-presented by Skoda. Simply clever.
WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.